A continuing crisis is hitting harder in East Texas compared to the rest of the state. Since 2019, overdose deaths in Texas have jumped nearly 70%, according to Centacor out of Tyler. East Texas rates are high above those of the state average, as high as 8% more in some regions. KLTV's Andrew Culver reports that these aren't just statistics. These are coworkers, friends, and family.
Ignacio Solis struggled with alcoholism over the last 2 years. He says he lost connection with his family because of his addiction. Solis couldn't find relief until he found help.
Sometimes you think you can do it by yourself, and it's impossible. You know, you have to have professional help. My life is wonderful. It still struggles, but you know, struggles just makes me stronger in life.
About 7 to 8% of adults across East Texas meet criteria for a substance use disorder each year, according to Centacor. This number ranges from 7 to 10% across deep East Texas counties. Brooke Henry with Centacor attributes this to fewer resources in rural areas and an easier access to acquire substances, including fentanyl, which she says is driving the higher number of overdoses. Henry says guidance and understanding can mean the world to anyone struggling.
Being able to encourage them from the moment they walk in through the door, and just letting people know that it is okay that you have a substance use disorder problem.
And for Solis, he's 10 months sober and looking ahead.
Don't be embarrassed, ashamed, you know, of pride. Pride held me back for a while, but you know what? I have to let pride go. It's like Rocky Balboa. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Andrew Culver, KLTV 7 News.
You can scan that QR code that you see on the bottom left of your screen, or you can go straight to kltv.com and click on the big red box to contact Centacor for rehab.